Yeah, in my 24 years, it's usually the defense is ahead. I think that's pretty much been the case this year as well, but I see the offense, really the last two practices, really making some pretty good strides. It's also hard just, early on when to decide that, because the installations, there's still a lot of new stuff going in every single, day on both sides of the ball, and we're a little bit more experienced on the defensive side, but I'm pleased. I thought the last 2 days, it's been very competitive back and forth.
James, you're about midway through practice. Where are you with respect to the quarterback competition, and do you have a time frame now that opener is kind of creeping close to us?
Yeah, well, we literally are just finishing up the installations, getting all the installs in on offense and defense, and we do that on purpose, kind of spread it out, and it's complementary, so the offensive coaches know what's going in on defense, the defensive coaches know what's going on offense, so you can prepare the guys to come out and be successful. And making sure that the right amounts, because it compounds. So it's not just what you're putting in on defense, it's what you're seeing on offense. So when it comes to the quarterbacks, we're going to get through the installs first and then just kind of go from there. But obviously we're evaluating everything. I think both Clifford and Levis are doing some really nice things. The two young kids are starting to get more comfortable too. So, we've been pleased, but we haven't had one discussion yet as a staff on making decisions.
James, how has Rasheed Walker handled himself against Etor and that collection of defensive ends? And how does that make him better? And additionally, anyone separating themselves at right guard?
Yeah, I think obviously going against the defensive line and specifically the defensive ends that we have, I think it's nothing but a positive. Rasheed's doing some really nice things. Obviously Will Fries is doing some really good things. Dez has had a great offseason. That's been a real positive for us in Dez Holmes. And then obviously Caden Wallace, a young kid that we think very highly of that's doing some good things too. So, at guard, I think you're going to see a rotation. I think you're going to see all three of those guys play a lot in Gonzalez and Miranda and Thorpe, thank you very much. How do I forget CJ? But I think you're going to see all three of those guys play a lot. And then we also got to make sure Miranda has the ability to play center for us as well. But that's one of the challenges right now is he needs reps at center, but it's hard to do that while he's competing for the guard job too. So that's the fine line of kind of getting all those reps balanced out.
James, how about the offensive line overall? What have you seen that you've liked so far?
Well, we have pounded that pretty hard. Matt's had a busy off season. Obviously, Coach Bowen's experience there as well. He was the line coach at the University of Maryland. We've had two NFL O-line coaches come and visit with us and pay a considerable amount of time with us. And we'll do that again. We got another guy coming back, just asking a bunch of questions, little details where we can get better and continue to grow, and even if it's just adding one more tool in these guys' tool belts. So Will Fries, give him one more tool that doesn't have to become his primary, but gives him another answer against different defensive ends. So I'm pleased with it. It's still a work in progress, and I think the other part of that is also how we call the game. I think we got to call the game in a way that helps those guys, build confidence as well as the season goes on. So by the time we get to the midpoint of the season, we feel like it's a strength for us.
What do quarterbacks that have been in your program for a few years still need to learn when they're actually really competing for the starting job?
Well, I think there's a difference between, getting reps in practice and talking about situational football. How much we spend, time talking about 4-minute, 2-minute, drive starters, earn first downs, kind of how they all play out differently and the things that factor into it. I think there's a difference between talking about all those things and doing it in practice. It's another being comfortable enough that you're just not out there in the stadium, in Beaver Stadium, just running plays, that you understand, why we're running the play. If it's 3rd and 8 and we're across the 50, how that's different than compared to 3rd and 8 on the minus 30-yard line and things like that. And I think early on, there's just so many things going through your mind in terms of the play, the defense, that the situation that you're in doesn't always factor in. You want to get to the point where you know the play without even thinking about it. You can identify the defense and then have a really good awareness of what situation we're in. So to me, that's the big step. There's that one step where the game slows down to you when you can start to anticipate what the defense is going to do. And I think the next step in developing is really understanding situational football and kind of how to manage those things.
How's the safety competition shaping up so far?
Good. You know, our conversation the other day as a staff is we think we got, probably, better depth there than we've had in the past in terms of 4 guys that we feel really good about. I think Wade's had a really good camp. I think Sutherland's had a really good camp. I think Brisker's had a really good camp. And then you guys, you'll see GT. Not only is he a veteran and played a lot of football for us, but great leader, very mature. But you're also going to see he's changed his body. He looks great. He is ripped up. His body fat's way down. He's moving really well, playing with a lot of confidence right now. So we like the 4 guys that we got.
What are some of the things you see from Garrett Taylor that make him a great leader, and how has he improved since the end of last season?
I think it's consistency and it's confidence. His approach, his maturity, both on and off the field, the consistency in his habits and the consistency in his behaviors, I think is the biggest thing for him. And then obviously the confidence that comes with playing as much football as he's played for us now. I think it's also, being able to watch a guy like Marcus Allen, being able to be, a good friend and teammate of Trace McSorley and see how they impacted the program. So it's kind of his time. It's his turn to take that next step. And because he's had such a mature approach off the field, he's really able to pour, 90% of all his energy and focus into football, because he's really handled all his business, off the field, academically, socially, spiritually, all of it.
Jim, you feel like you guys got what you needed out of the practice over at Beaver Stadium the other night, and really, look at some of the things that come down?
Yeah, we got 3 more scheduled. There was still some guys that you could tell, Beaver Stadium kind of was different for them, so we're going to get in there 3 more times. I think we are long and fast on defense. I mean, it is very, very apparent. It's impressive. Our length, our athleticism, and our speed on defense right now. But we need it. We need to be in that stadium. We still got a lot of young players that haven't played in there, under the lights, prime time, those types of things. But I think it was very valuable. The next time we do it, we'll have the coaches up in the booth on the opposite sidelines, and then the next time we'll do it, we'll literally go pure game day, coaches in the booth on the same sideline, offensive bench, defensive bench, signalers, dummy signalers, the whole operation. So build up. So by the time we get to game 1, everybody's very, very comfortable with how sideline and game organization goes.
James, in the last couple of days, a report came out that Penn State's under consideration for a Hard Knocks type program. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, that's been going on for a while. We're honored to be a part of that conversation. Obviously, when any of these things like this come up, and these opportunities have come up really the last couple of years, I'd probably say the last 3 or 4 years. We consider all these options that we think are in, the university's best interest, the athletic department's best interest, and our football program's best interest. Obviously, it's great that we're in that conversation, but no decisions have been made at this time. As you can imagine, there's a lot that goes into it, not just with Penn State, but with the Big Ten and a lot of other things that factor into it. So, at this point, we haven't made a decision, but once we have all the details, then we can make a decision at that point. But it's hard to make a decision when we don't know all the gymnastics that have to happen.
Hey James, you talked about the depth at safety. Can you talk about, compare the depth now versus when you first got here 6 years ago?
Oh, geez. Yeah, it's funny. I believe that that first year and really that second year, in a lot of ways, I think maybe have been our best job. In terms of maximizing what we had. As you guys know, we had a bunch of really good players and really good kids, but it was different. When you get here, and I think we had 6 or 7 scholarship offensive linemen before we moved guys over on defense and safety at really every position. it was unlike anything I had ever experienced before. So to think about where we're at now, we're young, but the depth and the talent and the competition is exciting. We got a better familiarity for Penn State, obviously now, for the conference, for all of it, you know, for the different venues. It's different. It's funny. It seems like 100 years ago, going to Dublin, Ireland, and you know, playing Central Florida. That was Billy O'Brien's going away present to me. You know, go out of town and leave us with a trip to Dublin, Ireland, and then Spider retires. I mean, geez, talk about a nightmare in the last few minutes. But it just, you know, we're just obviously at a different point. You know, we're just at a different point of our program. But all those experiences and all those things we have gone through, I think, have got us to this point. And they've all been learning experiences. Very appreciative, very proud of what we've been able to do, but we still got a lot of work to do. I just got done telling the team I'm very proud of it. How they've practiced, how they've competed. We made some adjustments in the off season to camp, to our summer training, and I like where we're at right now. So.
Yeah, it sounds like wide receivers coming along with other practices and Coach Parker's impact. How's it been so far?
Good. We got a lot of talent. We got a lot of depth. We got a lot of speed. There's a lot of confidence. We're playing with a lot of confidence right now. I thought they did a really good job this summer getting with the quarterbacks and throwing enough balls that they could build that chemistry. I think Coach Parker is a seasoned veteran wide receiver coach, played the position, coached the position, been around good programs, been around good coaches. His experience as an interim head coach and all that kind of stuff, you see it, you feel it. So, you know, he's made a great impact. I'm a huge fan of his. Him and Jaywan and Coach Lorig, you know, have done a really good job. They've been great hires and great additions to our program.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you.